I'd like you to welcome the first champion into the ring. This champion is champion Israelite Max Cady, otherwise known as Arnold. Arnold is 4 years old, and he was bred by Mrs. Tally Creme and also owned by Tally. He is sired by Red Baron Knight out of Creme de la Creme to Israelite. Arnold has been awarded 4 CCs, 2 reserve CCs, and his junior warrant. Thank you, Tally. Arnold has a daughter who is doing very well in the ring, Glenquest ballerina by Israelite, who has won her junior warrant, many best of breeds, many firsts in championship shows, and she went best in show in the Birmingham Dope Club Open Show. He's handled here today by Tally. Thank you very much indeed, Tally. Ladies and gentlemen, Arnold. Our next champion is champion Amazon, Brahms and Liszt, Oliver. Oliver is 9 years old, owned and bred by Clive and Nancy Evans. His sire is champion Matexi Movie Master out of Clients Tanya. Oliver has been awarded 24 CCs, 11 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. Oliver has had best of breed at champ shows 18 times, won 2 groups and a reserve group at champ show level, and was best in show at Bath in 1990. He also went reserve best in show at the Working Breeds Association of Scotland. He's handled here today for us by Clive. Thank you, Clive. Oliver has produced 3 UK champions and 1 Irish champion. Champion Amazon Sound Machine, champion Amazon Iron Lion of Murdale, champion Amazon Sinful Skinful, and Irish champion Amazon Just a Rumour. He has some up-and-coming young progeny, including Amazon Easy Lover with 1 reserve CC, Amazon Untamed Love at Rosanti, who has her junior warrant. Thank you, Clive. Thank you, Oliver. We now have champion and Irish champion Bilson the Thriller. His pet name is Bugsy. Bugsy is 9 years old and was bred by Mr. and Mrs. Gover. He's owned by Debbie, who's handling him today. Bugsy's sire is Bilsam Sudden Impact out of Bilsam Golden Girl. He has been awarded 3 CCs, 2 reserve CCs, and his junior warrant. He has 6 green stars, 3 reserve green stars. Bugsy went best of breed at 4 championship shows and at open show level 25 times. His group wins at champ shows he had 1 and 3 groups at open show level. Bugsy has gone best veteran at champ shows twice, including the Scottish Doberman Club and the Doberman Club. He's handled to here today by Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. Bugsy's stakes class wins include Pedigree Chum Champion Stakes finalist in 1993, runner-up twice in 94, Pedigree Chum Veteran Stakes runner-up at Bath in 1997. Bugsy is the first brown Doberman to become English and Irish champion and is still the only male. He has 2 daughters with 8 green stars between them and a granddaughter who has qualified for the Irish Pup of the Year finals in 1997. Thank you, Debbie and Bugsy. Please welcome into the ring champion Crisley on target with D'Souza. Ford is 6 years old and was bred by Angela Headington. He's owned by Sue and Spencer Houghton. His sire, champion Holtzberg's Mayhem, out of Better Be Good with Holtzberg. Ford has 3 CCs, 4 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. Placed many, many times at open shows, Sue informs us that when he was made up into a champion, they all seemed to become irrelevant. He's handled here today by his owner, Sue. Thank you very much, Sue. Ford has taken part in obedience competitions with some success and also passed with flying colours his Kennel Club Good Citizen Dog Award. Sue tells me he is a real gentleman to live with and they are very proud of him. Ford is now in semi-retirement, living happily at home with his harem. Thank you, Sue and Ford. We now have Clive handling champion Amazon sound machine, Ross. Ross is 2 years old and he's owned and was bred by Clive and Nancy Evans. His sire, champion Amazon Bronze and List, out of Maelstrom More Than a Feeling at Amazon. Ross has been awarded 12 CCs, 6 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. Ross also went best of breed at champ shows 9 times, and he's been placed in the group in Group 3 and Group 4. His best in show wins at championship shows include the Scottish Doberman Club Championship Show. He also went best in show at the South West Doberman Club Open Show and has been reserved best in show at Cheltenham. He's handled by Clive. Thank you, Clive. Ross is 2.5 years old and is currently leading the top sire competition in our breed. His daughter, Weimar Simply Red, has 1 reserve CC, is the breed's current top puppy. His other daughter, Die's Own to Die For at Amazon, has 1 reserve CC and was best puppy at Crufts in 1997. His son, Amazon Oh What a Night, has 2 reserve CCs. Thank you, Clive and Ross. Please welcome champion Marriage Acts Do Behave, Zeke. Zeke is 2 years old and he was owned and bred by Sharon and Andy Jackson. He's sired by champion Lodge House Casablanca out of Marriage Acts Mirabelle. Zeke has been awarded 4 CCs, 3 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. He has gone best of breed at champ shows twice and he was best in show at the Midland Doberman Club in 1996. He's also gone best in show at the North of England, Seaton and Ross, Newark and Notts Agricultural Show at open show level. He's handled here today by his owner, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Zeke won his first ticket at 16 months of age and was finally gained his crown at 25 months. At the time of writing this, he is possibly the youngest champion in the ring at the moment. He has some young progeny coming out into the show ring, and we wish him the best of luck. Thank you, Sharon and Zeke. Please welcome now champion Amazon Iron Lion of Murdale, Zen. Zen is 2 years old and was bred by Nancy and Clive Evans. His sire, champion Amazon Bronze and List, out of Maelstrom More Than a Feeling at Amazon. He is owned by Julie Kelly. Zen has been awarded 5 CCs, 2 reserve CCs, and his junior warrant. He took Best of Breed at the Working Breeds of Wales, and he's had 6 Best of Breeds at open show level. He was reserve Best in Show at the Welsh Doberman Club and Best in Show at the Midland Doberman Club Open Show. Zen has some puppies coming out shortly. We're flying the flag for the Dolbadon Kennel. He's handled here today by Angela Headington. Thank you, Angela. Julie tells me he is a big softy who lays for hours on the settee on his back with his 4 legs in the air, having his chest stroked. He is a people person and loves showing off. Angela will continue to handle Zen at shows in 1998. He is a lovely boy to live with and a champion at just over 2 years old. Thank you, Angela and Zen. Please welcome champion Lodge House Casablanca into the ring, otherwise known as Guinness. Guinness is 8 3/4 years old and was bred by Sue Brassington. He's owned by Tim and Lita Lynchbury. His sire, champion Dimrost Freedom Fighter, out of Lodge House Camellia. Guinness has been awarded 11 CCs, 9 reserve CCs, his junior warrant. He went Best of Breed at champ shows 9 times and Best in Show at championship shows 4 times. He went Best in Show at the Scottish Dobe, the Doberman Club, and twice at the North of England Doberman Club. He's handled here today by his owner, Lita. Thank you very much, Lita. Guinness is the sire of champion Marijax Do Behave with 4 CCs, 3 reserve CCs. Champion Shanrose Shock Tactic, 3 CCs, 2 reserve CCs. Dizone Dance with the Devil, 2 CCs, 6 reserve CCs. Shanrose Don't Crowd Me at Jagerson, 1 CC, 1 reserve CC. Halstadt Planiche, 1 CC. Manzot All in Black with 1 CC. Thank you, Guinness and Lita. We now have champion Slate Dexter, otherwise known as Chester. Chester is 4 years old and was bred by Mrs. G. Hunt. His sire, champion Slate Liberty, out of Slate Finesse. He is owned by Benjamin Nesbitt and has 3 CCs, 3 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. Chester has gone Best of Breed at championship shows 3 times and has won a Group 2 at South Wales. Chester was top puppy in 1994 with so many puppy wins, too numerous to mention. He's handled here today by Barry, his owner. Thank you very much, Barry. Chester is the sire of Slate Rasputin, who has qualified for Crufts 1998. He is the winner of Puppy Stakes overall at Scotland and had qualified for the grand final in January in London. Rasputin is handled by his co-breeder, Barry Nesbitt, the other breeder being Mr. Graham Hunt. Thank you, Chester and Barry. Please welcome one of our more recent champions, Champion Shanrose Shock Tactic. Of course, this is so recent, it is subject to KC approval. Pet name of Troy. Troy is 2 years old. He was bred by Mrs. Rosie Lane, sired by Champion Lodge House Casablanca, out of Champion Wild Cherry at Shanrose. He's handled today very proudly today by his owner, Mr. Derek Peters. Thank you, Derek. Troy has been awarded 3 CCs to date, 3 reserve CCs. He has taken Best of Breed at Champ Shows twice and Best of Breed at Open Shows 7 times. He has won Group 2, Group 3 at Champ Show level and a group at an Open Show level. Thank you very much, Derek. I know you're very proud of your dog. Let's give him a good hand. We now welcome into the ring Champion Sunnydore Stormbearer, Mikey. Mikey is 8 years old and is bred and owned by Jean and Hilton Quigley. He is sired by Champion Crossridge the Jasmine out of Stevely's Black Jezebel. Mikey has been awarded 14 CCs, 6 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. He has been Best of Breed at Champ Shows 8 times and went Best in Show at Birmingham Dobe and the Doberman Club and the South East Doberman Club. Mikey has many puppy awards, too numerous to mention, and he is handled here today by Mr. Peter Mycroft. Thank you, Peter. Jean tells me that Mikey is recovering from a badly bitten nose. He was convinced that Jean's Border Terrier, Jack, was in season. Jack was hopping mad, but is recovering well from a very bad leg bite. Thank you very much, Peter, for handling Mikey for us today. We now welcome Champion Ranlaw Circuit Breaker, otherwise known as Rab. Rab is 4 years old and was bred by Mr. Vic Honour and Mrs. Lorraine Honour. He is owned by Sue Spedding. He is sired by Champion Fingen's Chaos out of Bahrain's Freedom Lady. Rab has been awarded 4 CCs, 3 reserve CCs and his junior warrant. He has been Best of Breed at Champ Shows 4 times, had a group win at a Champ Show and went Best in Show at the Working Breeds of Wales. He is handled here today by Sue, his owner. Thank you, Sue. Rab has some youngsters in the ring that are doing very well for him, namely Nearctic Campania of Romeska, who won her junior warrant, 1 CC with Best of Breed, 2 reserve CCs. Julian's Buffera de Neve has 10 Green Star points and has CACIB graded excellent and 1 reserve Green Star. Cryadera Steamroller Stanley was Best Dog Puppy at the recent Doberman Club Open Show. Sue tells me that Rab is the only dobe in the house who can twist the pine doorknobs with one turn of his jaw, then either pull or push the doors open. He can be through 3 closed doors within seconds, and the bitches just wait and follow him through. Only one problem though. Visitors to the house have to beware of getting splinters in their hands. Thank you, Sue and Rab. Please welcome champion Salate Liberty. Pet name Max. Max is 5 years old and was bred by Mr. Graham Hunt. He's owned by Mrs. Linda Williams and sired by champion Halsberg's Mayhem out of Salate Standard Diploma. Max has 6 CCs, 12 reserve CCs. He has been best of breed at champ shows 4 times and 5 times at open show level. Max went second in the group and he was best in show, the Welsh Doberman Club. He's handled here today by his handler, Maxine. Thank you, Maxine. Max is the first Doberman dog in the UK to win the CACIB at the 8th World Congress of Kennel Clubs. He then went on to win Best of Breed and the Green Star. Max enjoys being in the show ring and loves his handler Maxine. And if you can't get to see him, you can usually hear him as he is so noisy. Thank you very much, Maxine and Max. We now have the last male champion in the ring today, ladies and gentlemen, and he is the oldest. He's 10 years old. I'd like you to welcome champion Halsberg's Mayhem. Boss was bred by the late Fiona Field and is still, in her memory, owned by the late Fiona Field. He is sired by champion Perihelius Resolution out of champion Dizown Icon Boogie 2 with Halsberg. In his show career, Boss was awarded 6 CCs, 7 reserve CCs, and his junior warrant. Boss is the sire of 8 champions that you will be seeing here today. He's handled by Graham. Thank you very much, Graham. Boss is the sire of 15 UK champions and 1 overseas champion. Countless more are on 1 or 2 tickets. He was top stud dog in the breed in 91, 92, 93 and 94. He was also the top stud dog, all breeds, in 93. Boss was born on Friday the 13th of November. Unlucky for some, you might say, but not his children. Boss will be 10 years this week. May we wish him a happy birthday. He now spends his days with 11-year-old Ellie, who happens to be one of his mother-in-laws. I'm sure he's quite happy to spend the rest of his days with his mother-in-law. Thank you very much indeed. I do believe this will be Boss's last appearance. Thank you very much indeed for bringing him to show us today. We now welcome the first bitch into the ring, champion Rittmeister Black Madonna, Jade. Jade is 7 years old and was bred by Mr. and Mrs. McCormick. She's owned by Sandra and Ian Allen. Jade was sired by Lodge House Smooth Criminal out of Rowena at Rittmeister. Jade was awarded 5 CCs, 6 reserve CCs and her junior warrant. She went best of breed at champ shows 4 times and 17 times at open shows. She had 4 group wins at open show level and at champ shows went best in show 3 times at the Midland Doberman Club and the Doberman Club twice. She's had best in shows at open show level at the Scottish Doberman Club and the Midland Doberman Club. Her puppy awards are too numerous to mention. She's handled here today by Sandra, her owner. Thank you, Sandra. Jade's breeder, Judith McCormack, has only bred 2 litters and each one produced a champion. The other one I'm sure you will all remember, champion Rittmeister Black Spartan. Jade has now reached the autumn of her life and we will be seeing her coming out in Veteran in 1998. We look forward to seeing her. Thank you, Jade and Sandra. Please welcome into the ring now, ladies and gentlemen, champion Dobermoris Whirland Dervish, Dana. Dana is 2 years old and one of our youngest champions. She was bred by Alison Doherty and is owned by Carol and Tony Avard. Her sire, Dobermori April Fool, out of champion Berate Carte Blanche of Dobermori. Dana has been awarded 10 CCs, 3 reserve CCs. She has taken best of breed at champ shows 7 times and has been placed in Group 2, Group 3 and Group 4 twice. Her best in show wins include the Welsh Doberman Club. She's handled here today by Alison's daughter Tracy. Thank you very much, Tracy. Dana's stakes class wins to date include winning the Mim Clay Memorial Stakes at 3 counties in 1997. She is currently the top winning Doberman in the breed in the Dog World competition. Thank you very much, Tracy and Dana. We now have champion Slate Unison at Mattercain, Gemma. Gemma is 8.5 years old and was bred by Mrs. G. Hunt. Her sire, champion Crossridge the Carbon Copy at Linfrid's, out of champion Slate Eiley. She's owned by Gary Daniels. She's handled here today by Gary. Thank you, Gary. Gemma has won the Pedigree Chum Veteran Stakes at Bournemouth in 1996 and came 4th in the Grand Final in January 1997. Her best in shows at champ shows include the Midland Doberman Club in 1991. Thank you very much indeed, Gary, for bringing your young lady along today. We now have a very recent champion, champion Hartsburg's Jador Dubugi, again subject to KC approval. Her pet name is Gucci and Gucci is 5 years old. She was bred by the late Fiona Field and is owned by Gary Daniels and Karen Brown. She was sired by champion Joendis Kilowatt out of Holzberg's Love to Boogie. Gucci has 3 CCs, 1 reserve CC. A lot of her records are missing, as we know that Fiona held a lot of her records. She's handled here today by Karen. Thank you very much, Karen. Gucci had a break from the ring to have her first glitter by champion Holzberg's Mayhem, which produced Holzberg Amadeus, who was joint top puppy in 1996. Gucci returned to the ring after a break of 2 years when she won her 3rd and crowning CC at Birmingham and District Doberman Club recently. I am sure Fiona would have been very proud to see Gucci in this parade today. I know it would have meant a lot to her. Thank you, Karen and Gucci. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, our oldest lady today. Champion Tavies Gem is 10 years old, Daisy. She is owned by Edna Evans, was bred by Mr. and Mrs. Barton, sired by the US import Marienberg's Fire Dancer out of Dancing Madeline of Tavy. Daisy has been awarded 8 CCs, 3 reserve CCs and her junior warrant. She went best of breed at champ shows 3 times and was best in show at the Welsh Doberman Club Championship show. Daisy was a Pro Dogs finalist, a champ stakes winner at the Midland Counties. Edna tells me that Daisy is still the spinster of her parish, but is still open to offers. She's handled here today by a very proud handler, Barry, who I know has enjoyed a great career showing her. Thank you very much, Barry. Edna tells me that Daisy was always the showgirl, and on one occasion at Blackpool in '91, she hadn't been at all well on the journey. Edna was up all night taking her for the trots. It was decided that she shouldn't be shown, but to take her to the showground where there would be a vet on duty. On taking her back to the car to go home, she pulled towards the bitch ring where they were just starting the open class. Should she be taken in? She certainly wanted to. She just wanted to be shown and be the centre of attention. She won the class and the ticket and another one 5 days later. Daisy certainly enjoyed her showing career. Thank you very much indeed, Barry and Daisy. We now welcome champion Amazon Sinful Skinful, known as Sinner. Sinner is 2 years old and was bred and owned by Clive and Nancy Evans. Her sire, champion Amazon Brahmson List, out of Maelstrom More Than a Feeling at Amazon. She's handled here today by Nancy. Thank you very much, Nancy. Sinner was awarded 3 CCs and 2 reserve CCs, and she went best of breed at 3 championship shows. She has been best in show at the Welsh Doberman Club and been placed Group 3 in a championship show group. Many puppy awards include the Doberman Club Championship show and the best puppy in show at the Doberman Club Open show. Thank you, Nancy and Sinner. We now welcome another old lady, champion Zordia's Magic Moments at Amazon, Megan. Megan is 9 years old and was bred by Val Allen. She's owned by Clive and Nancy Evans and is handled here today by Debbie. Debbie owns her brother, champion Zordia's Vigilante. They both had the CCs at the Welsh Doberman Club. Thank you, Debbie. In her showing career, Megan was awarded 5 CCs, 2 reserve CCs, a junior warrant. She has numerous open shows wins to her credit and many, many awards as a youngster. Thank you, Debbie, for handling this old lady for us today. We now have a very recent champion to be made up. Again, subject to KC confirmation, champion Bohemians Miss Be Wise at Denjam, Ethel. Ethel is only at the tender age of 23 months. She was bred by Mrs. A. Mayhew and is owned by Sam and Dennis Elliott. Her sire, Slate Hoodwink of Stroudley, out of Bohemians Kind of Magic. Ethel was awarded 3 CCs, 1 reserve CC and her junior warrant. She's handled here today by Sam, who tells me herself she's her novice handler. Thank you, Sam. Sam tells me that we mustn't forget Ethel's handler during the week because husband Dennis plays a big part in the team as he is the chief dog walker, walking several miles every day to keep Ethel in tip-top condition. Above all, Ethel is a pet and best friend to all the family. Congratulations, Sam. Well done. Thank you. We now welcome champion Slates Zoe at Mansart. Zoe is 8 years old and was bred by Graham Hunt. Is owned by Mandy Everly and was sired by champion Hartsburg's Mayhem out of champion Slate Fraulein. Zoe was awarded 3 CCs, 4 reserve CCs. She had best of breed at the LKA and had 5 best of breeds at open show level. She was best in show, the South East of England Doberman Club. She's handled here today by her owner, Mandy. Thank you, Mandy. Zoe has produced a South African champion and her sister has won the CC at LKA in '95. She is also the mother of Mansart Black Secret and Mansart Black Humour, who are dual best in show winners so far. Mandy tells me that Zoe is a complete dustbin, especially adoring bananas. She rules the roost over all her mother's 20 rough collies. No matter whether Zoe had never become a champion or even won a first, she is still one of a kind and one in a million. Thank you, Mandy and Zoe. We now welcome into the ring English and Irish champion Lintoya Secret Acclaim, Astra. Astra's not quite the oldest here today, just being picked at the post. Astra is 9½. She's owned and bred by Tony and Linda Fisher, was sired by Chater the Ferryman out of Chornington Secret Desire. In her show career, Astra was awarded 4 CCs, 6 reserve CCs, her junior warrant, 6 Irish Green Stars and 5 reserve Green Stars. She has been best of breed 5 times at the Irish Championship shows and too numerous to mention at open show level. She went best in show at open show level at the North of England Doberman Club and the North Eastern Counties Doberman Club. Her stakes wins to date include the Veteran Stakes at Peterborough in 1995, which she won outright, and the Veteran Stakes at Windsor in 1996 in the working group. She's handled here today by Tony, her very proud owner. Thank you, Tony. Astra has won the veteran bitch at Crufts for the last 3 years. She has also enjoyed representing the breed at Discover Dogs in London and Crufts and loves all the attention she receives. Enjoying very much a comfortable retirement now. Thank you, Astra, and thank you, Tony. We now welcome into the ring champion Alberto Miss Dior, subject to KC confirmation, better known as Steffi. Steffi is 2 years old, was bred by Alan and Barbara Waterhouse. She's owned by Jeanette Gregson. Her sire, champion Bledig Bugatti, out of Alberto Cinnabar. Steffi has been awarded 3 CCs and her junior warrant. She has been best of breed at champ shows once and 10 times at open show level. She is handled here today by Alan, her breeder, who I know has enjoyed showing her to her crowning glory. Thank you, Alan. Jeanette tells me that Miss Dior has been a constant winner from being a puppy. She loves the show ring. She has a super temperament and is a dream to live with. Thank you, Alan, for handling Steffi for us today. We now have champion Genix going slick and sassy at Jules-Jean. Better known as Sassy. Sassy is 7 years old and was bred by Mrs. Jenny Naylor. Her sire, Genix Blackjack. Her dam, Genix Corys Carina. She's owned by Mr. John Harkness. Sassy was awarded 3 CCs, 2 reserve CCs. Lost count of how many open show wins she had. She's handled here today by John Harkness, who owns Sassy. Thank you very much, John. Sassy has produced 2 winning progeny, Jules-Jean's Buffard de Neve and an Italian name that's awfully difficult to pronounce but is called Ghiacco. Apparently these girls were named after a very severe blizzard which John was held in one evening for 8 hours on his way to mate this bitch. Then when the puppies were born, they were born in thick snow and their names mean blizzard of snow and ice. Jules-Jean's Buffard de Neve has gained 10 Green Star points, 1 reserve CC, and has graded excellent at the CACIB. Thank you, John and Sassy. We now have champion Ranlaws Annie Laurie. Annie is 4 years old, was bred by Mr. and Mrs. Vic Honour, who's handling her here for us today. She is sired by champions Finjan's Chaos out of Bahrain's Freedom Lady. She is handled by Vic, her owner. Thank you very much, Vic. During her show career, Annie was awarded 3 CCs, 4 reserve CCs. She went best of breed at champ shows twice and at open show level 15 times. She has won a group 4 and has best in show at open shows twice. Very many puppy awards to her name, too numerous to mention. Thank you very much, Vic. Thank you, Annie. Please welcome champion Houndsbands Canisp, Gina. Gina is 5 years old, was bred by Roger James and June Lewis. Her sire, Bronco van der Koenig Undenhau, a time doll, out of Houndsbands The Sonnet. She's owned by Beryl Lloyd and is handled here today by Beryl. Gina was awarded 3 CCs, 3 reserve CCs, and her junior warrant. Gina went best of breed at Bath in 1996 and went best in show at the South East, the Midland and the Doberman Club, all in 1995. She's handled by Beryl today, who I'm sure is very proud. Thank you, Beryl. Gina has passed the Midland Doberman Club obedience tests 1, 1A and 2. In breed obedience, she's worked her way out of all the classes up to A class. She's now in training and will hopefully be registered as a pat dog next year. Thank you, Gina and Beryl. We now have champion Alstott Wallsteiner, Taz. Taz is 6 years old and was bred by Bob and Felicia Lloyd. She is owned by Bob and Felicia. She's handled today by Felicia. Her sire, champion Dimross Freedom Fighter, out of Wicklow Royal Crusader. Taz was awarded 4 CCs, 6 reserve CCs, and her junior warrant. She went best of breed at champ shows 3 times and at open show level 18 times. She has been awarded best in show at open shows 5 times, plus 1 reserve best in show. Her stakes class wins to date include the Champion Stakes Working. She's handled by Felicia. Thank you very much, Felicia. Taz has produced 2 litters to champion Lodge House Casablanca, with a son and 2 daughters being shown and are Crufts qualified. Her son, Halstats Patar at Dimrost, has won 1 reserve CC. Thank you very much, Felicia and Taz. We now welcome into the ring champion Sunnydore, me and my girl at Roxy, Samantha. Samantha is 4 years old and was bred by Mr. and Mrs. Jean Quigley. Her sire was champion Holtzberg's Mayhem out of Sunnydore Celebration. Samantha was awarded 6 CCs, 1 reserve CC and her junior warrant. She has 2 best of breeds at championship shows and went best of breed at open show level 20 times. Her best in show wins include one club show, which was the Birmingham Doberman Club. She's handled here today by Michelle, who also owns Samantha. Thank you very much, Michelle. Samantha, who lives with 4 other Dobermans, including her daughter, has made us really proud over recent years. She gave birth to 11 healthy puppies back in February, but unfortunately, despite all methods of exercise, still suffers from a swinging tummy. Thank you very much, Michelle and Samantha. We now welcome into the ring champion Salate Levi, Katie. Katie is 5.5 years old and was bred by Mrs. G. Hunt. Her sire, champion Haltzberg's Mayhem, out of Salate Standard Diploma. She's owned by David and Barbara Mitchell. Katie has won 3, been awarded 6 CCs, 6 reserve CCs, and her junior warrant. She has best of breed at champ show level 3 times and at open show level 3 times. She's also gone best in show at the Scottish Doberman Club Championship show. She's handled today by Mitch, her owner. Thank you, Mitch. In Katie's first litter, she produced 2 champion daughters in Salate Jigsaw and Irish champion Salate Jezebel. Most recently, another one of her daughters, Salate Jamaica, won the CC and best of breed at SKC. Her grandchildren from Salate Jenna not only won their classes at the same show, but the male was best puppy in breed, making the day very special for Dave and Barbara. Thank you very much, Mitch and Katie. We now have champion and Irish champion Sue Peters Orangina, pet name Jazz. Jazz is 4.5 and is bred and owned by Sue Mycroft. Her sire, champion Juwendy's Kilowatt, out of champion Juwendy's Kiora. Jazz was awarded 7 CCs, 8 reserve CCs, and her junior warrant. She also gained 5 green stars, 4 with best of breed. Jazz gained 2 best of breed at champ show level and best of breed at open shows 20 times. Jazz has been best in show at open shows, including 3 breed clubs, 3 reserve best in shows at breed open shows, 2 best in shows and 1 reserve best in show at all breed open shows. Jazz was the runner-up overall at Bournemouth Championship Show Stakes class in 1996. She's handled here today by Sue, who owns her. Thank you, Sue. Jazz was the top winning brown bitch in 1996. She is the first and currently the only dual champion brown bitch. Out of her first litter, Jazz has produced Sue Peters Dream On, Sue Peters California Dreamin', Sue Peters Courtney Dreamin', and Sue Peters Dream Lover, who are all doing very well in the show ring at championship show level, winning puppies and minor puppy classes. Thank you, Sue and Jazz. We now have champion Salate Jigsaw. Jigsaw is the daughter of the bitch that you saw earlier, Katie. Her pet name is Jodie, and she's nearly 3 years old. She was bred by Mrs. G. Hunt, by Champion Haltzberg's Mayhem, out of Champion Slate Levi. She's owned by David and Barbara Mitchell, was awarded 7 CCs, 1 reserve CC. Jodie was best of breed at champ shows 3 times and went best of breed at open show level twice. She has 1 best in show at champ show levels, the Southwest Doberman Club. Her stakes class wins to date were Pup of the Year qualifier in 1995 at National Working Breeds and Champion Stakes runner-up at Darlington in 1996. She's handled by Dave today, who we know very well as Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. Jodie had a very successful puppy career, finishing top puppy in 1995. She won Pup of the Year qualifier. She started 1996 off in style, winning her first CC at 12 months of age. Thank you very much, Mitch and Jodie. We now welcome into the ring a lady that's very dear to my own heart, Champion Romeska's Dream Lady, otherwise known as Coco, who is 4 years old. She was bred by me, Mrs. Carol Smith, and she's owned by Nick and Kerry Pape. She's sired by Champion Joendy's Kilowatt out of Champion Romeska Firelight. In her show career, Coco won 3 CCs, 3 reserve CCs. She went best of breed with 1 of those tickets and was likely shown at open shows, picking up 2 best of breeds. She's handled very proudly today by Kerry, her owner. Thank you, Kerry. I myself had the honour of handling this girl throughout her career, and I know how laid back she can be. So on the night before Crufts 96, Nick and Kerry were very proud when Coco pursued 2 burglars, searched them out and held them at bay until the police arrested them, showing a true Doberman instinct. Soon after being made up, Coco was quite ill with an abscess on the bone. After getting over that, she's just produced a litter, of which a couple of the puppies we welcome into the ring shortly, and we wish them the best of luck. Thank you very much, Nick and Coco. If not Coco. We now welcome Champion Kerrigan Cousin Kate at My Tanami. Pet name Connie. Connie is 5 years old. She was bred by Barbara and Barry Presswich and is owned by Maggie and Mike Spindley. Connie was sired by Champion Bledig Bugatti out of Kerrigan head over heels. Connie won 6 CCs, 1 reserve CC and her junior warrant. She went best of breed at champ shows 3 times and reserve best in show at champ shows twice. She gained a best in show at the Welsh Doberman Club in 1993 and has gone best in show at Club Open shows twice, reserve best in show at Club Open shows 3 times. She's handled here today by Maggie, her owner. Thank you, Maggie. Connie won her first CC at 14 months of age and gained her title in only 7 months at the tender age of 21 months, making her one of the youngest ever bitches to become a champion. Most of all, Connie is an absolute joy to own and live with, a true friend and companion, a real Doberman. Thank you very much, Connie and Maggie. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an unusual lady joining us today. Unusual in the sense that she hasn't won any beauty competitions, although I am sure she is very beautiful. Would you please welcome Working Trials champion Jim Artis-Seater. Otherwise known as Kim, Kim is 5 years old and was bred by Jim and Marty Burrell. Her sire, Graf Buko von Nielenstam, out of Princess Paula von Groningerland. She's owned and handled and loved by John Fleet. To become a Working Trials champion, you have to go under 2 different judges, which John completed at the Midland Counties GSD Training Society and the Championship Trials at Tewkesbury, run by the British Association for the German Shepherd Dog. To date, Kim has qualified TDX 20 times. Since she first gained her TDX in '95, she has been placed first, second, third and fourth twice on each occasion. Kim is only the 3rd Working Trials champion in modern times and under new rules. Thank you very much, John, for bringing Kim along today. In all, the Doberman has only ever had 7 Working Trials champions since 1949, when the Doberman was used by Surrey and Durham police forces. John has now achieved the ultimate by winning the Kennel Club Working Trials Championships, which is the highlight of Kim's career, which to you and I would be like winning Crufts. All the CC winners compete over 2 days, Kin gaining 206 points out of 220, finishing well ahead of the field. I am sure you will join me in congratulating John and Kim on this great achievement. Thank you, Kim and John. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask all the champions to return into the ring. If we could just keep it peaceful for a little while, I will ask you to show your appreciation as each dog comes in, and I'll remain quiet. Thank you very much indeed. I think you would agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that this has got to be one of the finest displays of champions you will possibly ever see. I'd like to take the opportunity of thanking you all so very, very much indeed. We had 46 champions entered. Only half a dozen are missing. I hope if the cameraman can pick all this up, we will have something to look at in the future. But for the moment, let's just savour these wonderful display of our Dobermans, our beloved breed in the ring today. Thank you very much indeed.